تفضل.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
Today, I'm just gonna be sharing a hadith with you guys, and we might break it down a little, extract some fa'idah from it, right? So it goes as such. حدثنا عبد العزيز بن عبد الله حدثنا سليمان عن ثور بن زيد عن أبي الغيث عن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اجتنبوا السبع الموبقات. قالوا يا رسول الله وما هن؟ قال الشرك بالله والسحر وقتل النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق وأكل الربا وأكل مال اليتيم والتولي يوم الزحف وقذف المحصنات المؤمنات الغافلات. It is the 6857th hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, Kitab al-Hudud, 44th chapter. So, pretty much the meaning of it goes like, Abu Hurairah narrated, Abu Hurairah, and there's no need for an explanation as to who he was, right? As one of the greatest muhaddith of his time. He narrated, the Prophet ﷺ said, be aware, avoid the 7 destroyers, right? 7 major sins. So they said, meaning the Sahaba, they said, and what are they? So the Prophet ﷺ said, Ashirku billah, that's number 1, associating partners with Allah. Number 2, as-sihr, black magic, right? Sorcery. Number 3, وَقَتْلُ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ, which is killing without a just cause. Killing those who Allah has forbidden without a just cause. Number 4 is وَأَكْلُ الرِّبَى, eating from interest, as in usury. Number 5 is وَأَكْلُ مَالِ الْيَتِيمِ, and that is eating from the orphan's wealth. Right? Eating from the orphan's wealth. And number 6 is وَالتَّوَلِّي يَوْمَ الزَّحْفِ, which is like turning your back, like fleeing on the day of marching, meaning the day of battle, right? You know, sawar, you turn your back, right? And then they have the last one, وَقَذْفُ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ الْغَافِلَاتِ, which is where the chapter gets, that's why it's positioned in this chapter, بَابِ الرَّمْيِ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ, right? Slandering the chaste women. So, وَقَذْفُ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ الْغَافِلَاتِ, that means like accusing them, meaning adultery, right? Accusing them of adultery. Those who are muhsanat, the good doers of the women, mu'minat, the believing women, and the ghafilat, they won't even think of that, right? And you're accusing them of that, right? So, Prophet ﷺ, he said, be aware, he said, avoid these 7 destroyers, right? He didn't even say major sins, he said destroyers, right? So, I mean, we know it's a fact, it's not just 7 major sins, right? You saying that zina is not a major sin, right? If you go in Surah Baqarah, the 219th ayah, you'll find يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ, right? Gambling and alcohol, drinking alcohol, it's a major sin. It's a big sin. So you know there's other sins, right? But these ones in specific, so what's the word used for it? اجتنبوا السبع الموبقات. Mubiqat is destroyers, right? So when you're saying something is destroying, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, you're taking a hammer and hitting a brick wall, right? You can destroy the nafs, right? You can destroy communities, right? You can destroy a family. So the first one he mentions is shirk. And it's for obvious reasons that is a destroyer, right? Prophet ﷺ and all of the other prophets, they came to obliterate shirk, right? Associating partners with Allah, okay? So then you have number 2, which is sihr. Sin number 2, sihr. Sihr actually, generally, it falls under the same category as shirk. It does. It falls under the same category. For obvious reasons, you know, sometimes they do blood sacrifices to other than Allah, right? Now, they have 2 types of shirk, right? They have shirk al-kabair, right? And then they have the minor shirk, right? And the Prophet ﷺ said that he's not afraid of the major shirk for us, afraid of the minor shirk, right? The minor bad deeds that you're doing, right? So it's that's what he's afraid of, right? So It's a question we all have to ask ourselves. Are we like, committing minor sins, right? Major sins, they're out there, they're big. Those stuff, they're easy to be like, oh, whoa, I'm staying away from that, right? But it's the minor sins, right? So, that's for shirk and sihr. Now you got number 3, sin number 3. وقتل النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق. So pretty much that's, you have, it's murder, right? As the Sheikh explained in one of the recent classes, it's murder, right? So, it's for, that one is also for obvious reasons. It's a destroyer as well. It's not even just destroying one person. Murder is something that you can destroy a family like that, right? And there's no doubt about it. For example, right? You killed somebody in self-defense. Even so, right? It's a justifiable cause. The guy pulled a knife on you, you killed him, right? Justifiable cause. But what does it do to your heart? Are you saying you're not going to feel guilty? You're not going to feel beat up about it? Right? Oh, did I have to kill that person? Right? Yeah. So you'll still feel that guilt inside of you, right? So it's a destroyer of the nafs as well. And it destroys the close ones to the murdered person, so on, right? Then you have aklu riba. Now riba, right? Eating from interest, eating from usury, right? Eating from that money. So there's many reasons why this is a destroyer, right? I'm gonna look at everything, all 7 of them, right? Also, as the Sheikh mentioned, Sheikh Mufti, he mentioned in one of the recent classes, there's spiritual benefits into listening to what the Prophet said, listening to what the Prophet said. Even though there are apparent physical reasons, there's things that we can understand. Oh, break your fast with dates, right? Break your fast with dates. It has sugar. It's sweet, right? One of Tirmidhi's reasoning for that, right? But there's also the reasoning, oh, the Prophet did it, he said to do it. There's spiritual benefit, right? Spiritual benefit. Whether you can see it or not, it's still there. He said to do it, you do it, right? So same thing with riba, but there's also, if you want to look at it on a bigger scale, there's economic crises when you have riba. It's a widespread thing, right? So moving on, وَأَكْلُ مَالِ الْيَتِيمِ, right? Sin number 5. Okay, أكل مال اليتيم. That's oppression, and this is also one of the one of the reasons for وأكل الربا, right? It's oppression. Say I lend you some money, right? Right, I lend you some money, right?
100,000.
Yeah. All right. I want you need to pay out for debt. I lend you that money. Next week I want back my money, right? That's the set time. I want back my money, right? So I'm going to demand back my money. You're going to say, oh, I don't have my money. I don't have the money to pay back. I don't have the $100, right? So what am I going to do? Am I going to raise it, right? And over time, you still can't pay that. And it just keeps raising and raising and raising, and you can't pay it out. What's that? That's oppression in by itself. That's oppression. So it's also oppressing to orphan as well, right? So the orphan is somebody legally in Islam, right? According to Sharia. An orphan is somebody whose father died and they haven't reached that level of maturity, right? So who's the, like, generally speaking, who's the protector of the household? The father, right? So he doesn't have a protector, right? And you're just feeding off his wealth like that. So you're oppressing, and there's many reasons, right? That's a destroyer, right? It does destroy, indeed. Then you have sin number 6. وَالتَّوَلِّي يَوْمَ الزَّحْفِ. Okay? I mean, if you want to be a coward about it and you're turning back, right? When you say Yom al-Zahf, right? The day of marching, are you talking about the U.S. military? You talking about the U.S. military? No. You're talking about jihad, fi sabilillah, right? So there's different reasoning for why you go to jihad. Sometimes it's for the word of Allah, right? So it's the freedom to practice Islam, right? So sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it is your city is under attack, right? You got to defend your city. That's called jihad, right? So, and when you're turning back on that, right? That is, in a way, it is definitely cowardice. But you're leaving, say it is to spread the word, or freedom to practice Islam. You're turning your back on Allah and His Messenger. That's what you're doing. You're turning your back on them, right? Yeah. So there's many reasons why that one is in specific as a destroyer, right? The last one. This is where the chapter. This is why it gets put in this chapter, Bab al-Rami al-Muhsanat, which is the chapter of slandering chaste women, right? So. A problem that people have now is, and it's one of the easiest things to do, is to just talk your mouth. Just talk what you think, right? And you just go and you're flapping about, oh, Sister Khadija did this with this guy, right? And you have no basis for yourself. And even if you do, there's no need to. How does that help you? It doesn't help anybody at all, right? So I'm gonna conclude right here, right? I'm gonna conclude there. That's all 7 of the major sins, of the major destroying sins. Yeah, destroyers, right? So, the question we all have to ask ourselves, right? We all gotta ask ourselves: are you doing riba? Simple as, are you doing riba, right? Or do you feel safe going to Allah with where you're saying, "Oh, I'm not doing riba. It's not riba, right? It's not usury, right?" Do you really feel safe with that? All right, fine, khalas, right? Do you feel safe that you haven't turned your back on the jihad al-nafs, right? There's jihad al-nafs. Do you feel safe about that? Do I feel safe about that? Do you? That's the big question, right? Are you staying away from it? Are you destroying your soul, right? Are you a destroyer? Because Allah, He's destroyed nations like that. He's destroyed nations like nothing. Right? So if you're thinking, oh, you're going to go do that, Allah can destroy as well. Right? Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Wa alaikum salam. You did something very bad, Mukhtar. Without seeking permission. Who said that I wanted you to get up from my side? Khalas, it's too late. You made the sin already. And you just advised us about avoiding destructive sins. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you very much for the benefit that you have shared with us.
My apologies.
It's too late. Alhamdulillah, benefiting us with the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, directly and organically from Sahih Bukhari, something that has become a rarity, something that is abandoned and to most of us unknown. For someone to quote Sahih Bukhari, let alone to quote directly from Sahih Bukhari with the chain of narration and extract the benefits, extract the wisdom, extract the rulings, freshly squeezed. No preservatives, no pasteurizing, so on and so forth. Orange, squeezer, glass. 3 things and 3 things only. There's the orange, there is the juicer, and there is the glass. No sugar, no this, no that, just like that. That's the Hadith disciple way. And many times. Not all of the time, but oftentimes. So Jazakallah khairan for that. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make Brother Mukhtar and all of the young Muslim youth to be righteous, to be guided, to be forthright. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to allow them the importance of taking the small window that they have. The small window that you have as a youth with regards to doing the right thing in general, let alone exceeding and excelling. If you choose to take the long path of seeking knowledge, which isn't an easy one, which isn't a simple one, you have to take advantage of your youth. And you only get a small window. If you don't go through the window in the proper time, it's slim to no chances afterwards. Even if you continue to seek knowledge, but it isn't the same, So it's very important for you guys to keep that in mind, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you very much. And perhaps tomorrow, bidhnillahi ta'ala, we'll have another one of the youth give us a small brief fa'idah whether it's pertaining to fasting or anything else from the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam. It's very important that when you're young is that you get as much practice as you possibly can before you have to do a thing. There will come a time in which you're not sitting on my side and I'm not sitting here, I'm not coaching you. No, you're giving the talk. And the people are listening to you. They've come to listen to you. They've come to benefit from you. And if you are unprepared, or if you're nervous, or if you're anxious, or if you haven't learned and studied and read enough and practiced enough, then how can you benefit them? And that's, as you've mentioned, oppression. That's oppression. That's dhulm. Someone comes to the masjid and they say, I want to get the sins off of my back. I want to be reminded. I want to enjoy the spiritual benefit. And then I come and Brother Mufti has a headache. He has a migraine. Or he's stuttering and chopping it up and he's not prepared. He's not delivering with the necessary confidence, etc. I've oppressed this brother. And I haven't looked after him as my brother in Al-Islam. So it's very important to get as much practice as you possibly can while you don't have to do it. Because a time will come in which you what? You will do it. And it isn't an option. So be mindful of those words, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Ameen. With that being said, with the amount of time that we have left, about 20 minutes maybe, inshallah ta'ala, we'll take some of the questions and we'll see if it's possible for us to have our dars tomorrow by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.